Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to ISPI Live number 25. My name is George Gu. I'm the president-elect of ISPI, the International Society for Performance Improvement. For over 60 years, ISPI has been dedicated to improving organizational and individual performance through evidence-based methodology and practice. Last week, we were so honored to have Mr. Amit Garg from India to talk about taking learning seriously using science in practice. He gave us 5 points, which are very practical in our daily works in the learning and development arena. So thank you, Mr. Amit Garg. This week, we're so honored to invite the ISPI conference team. The main members today presenting will be Lorraine Fraser-Ike, Dr. Andy Campbell, Eileen Maso, to share with us introduction and overview of the 2023 Performance Improvement Conference. It's going to be a very exciting conference. Let's hear what they got to say. Before that, a little bit of introduction of three of them. Lorraine Fraser-Ike is the 2023, this year's ISPI Conference Committee Chair. She is a performance improvement professional and award-winning instructional designer with 10 plus years of experience in adult learning. Dr. Andy Campbell is an award-winning human performance technologist and instructional system designer working as a senior human performance improvement consultant for Johns Hopkins Health System. Andy completed a career with the U.S. Coast Guard after many years where he served as a commissioned officer leading and managing several aspects of the Coast Guard training. He attended the educational doctorate in a program in instructional system technology from Indiana University. He is also on the board of directors of ISPI. Eileen Maso is a seasoned professional. She's a CPT, certified performance technologist. She's also instructional system specialist. She retired after 20 years in government last year. Congratulations. She has 25 years in HPT experience and also in commercial and government area. She has many degrees. She has many accomplishments, including articles and books. And today is going to be a fabulous presentation. So let's give the floor to the ISPI conference team. Conference team, please take it away.
Hi, everyone. So glad that you could join us today. My name is Lorraine Fraser. I am your 2023 Conference Committee Chair, and I have with me Andy Campbell and Eileen Maso to talk to you about a few things that we want to share with you about the upcoming conference. So today we're first going to hear from Eileen. She's going to share a little bit more about Colonial Williamsburg. And then Andy's going to talk about the property, the hotel, the amenities, some of the fun things going on. And then I'll share more information about the conference and our WebEx events app. So I will go ahead and hand it over to Eileen. It's all yours.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. Hi, everybody. I'm really excited that this year's conference is in Williamsburg, Virginia. And I wanted to talk to you first about how to get here. That's usually the biggest question. And we have 3 airports. So we have Newport News International, which only flies American Airlines. It's small, it's easy to get in and out of, and it's close to the hotel, and you can Uber or you can get there through a cab or a taxi. Norfolk is on the other side of the water, and it requires going through a tunnel, which seems like fun for some people, but if the tunnel gets backed up, it's no fun if you're trying to make connections. So please give yourself an extra hour to go ahead and get through the tunnel for your return flight. So if it requires 2 hours, add an additional hour to that. I wouldn't recommend going through Norfolk. If you can, go through Newport News or go through Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia is an hour away, as is Norfolk. And in order to get back from the airport to the hotel, you really should rent a car if you're coming in through either one of those airports, because transportation is going to be very, very expensive. Over $100 to get you one way to the hotel and then $100 back to get back. There's so much to do in Williamsburg, and I'd like to share some of those things with you. When you're here, Williamsburg is rich in history, as you can see on the picture that's displayed on your screen. There's so much. There's so much time for you to enjoy the colonial part of Williamsburg, but the surrounding areas is rich and wonderful as well. For example, there's Yorktown, Virginia, there's Jamestown, Virginia, and the hotel's in the middle of Colonial Williamsburg. Right in the heart. There's free bus transportation from the hotel to Colonial Williamsburg. And then there's an area in Colonial Williamsburg called Merchant Square. And Merchant Square is part of shopping and dining experience, very small quality little shops, and lots of fun to enjoy that. Keep in mind that everything in Colonial Williamsburg is authentic, including the roads, which are cobblestones. So wear your walking shoes. You have, as I mentioned, free bus transportation from the hotel to Colonial Williamsburg, as well as Merchant Square. And the buses run every 15 minutes from the hotel to that area. Surrounding throughout Williamsburg, that does require a car. There's Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, and during that time frame, they're going to be having a food and wine festival. If you have not been to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, it's beautiful. And even if you don't ride rides, there's plenty to enjoy. There's also the Great Wolf Lodge, which is a hotel with a water park. There are outlets for all your shopping needs and several craft breweries and every type of food you can imagine here in Williamsburg. We've provided links, so please see those links. And if you're registered on ISPI.org, once you are registered for the conference, go into chat and maybe work with somebody on ride sharing from the airport of your choice. Bring your family. Stay on past the conference and see all there is for Williamsburg to offer. Before I close, there's also some other things further out. There's Virginia Beach, which is about an hour and a half, and then 2 hours is the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I look forward to seeing all of you, and we'll pass it on to Dr. Campbell now.
Thank you, Eileen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thanks for attending. So I'm going to cover a little bit about arriving at the hotel and what the hotel that we selected has for amenities. We will be providing a link to the hotel, but what we did was we selected the Woodlands Hotel and Suites. And what this does is it provides the opportunity for our attendees to be co-located with the hotel, and the site itself is actually separated. So the hotel does not mirror up to the conference center exactly. So there is a gap between the hotel and the conference center, but about a 3-minute walking distance. As you can tell from the hotel photos that are being displayed here, it's your very typical colonial looking hotel. It's very quaint. And below we have guest services. So with your registration, you will receive tickets to attend the Colonial Williamsburg. We have put that in the schedule for you. There's some dining on site. There is a small splash pool for your kids if you decide to bring them and want them to be entertained while you're out at the conference. There's obviously a fitness center, Wi-Fi, a miniature golf course. And there's plenty of activities in the area. There's cornhole, there's Colonial Williamsburg is legitimately a 5-minute walk or a bus ride from the hotel. We also have a golf course that's nearby, and it's highly rated. They actually have 2 golf courses on site. So if you're interested in bringing your clubs with you, we will be having a tournament. We'll touch base on more later. What else can I talk about? I think we're going to get more into that, Eileen, aren't we? Or is that what you're looking for?
Sorry,
Is Eileen there?
I'm here.
Oh, Eileen, did I miss anything else in the general area next to the hotel?
No, I think you hit it all. Thanks.
All right. I asked Eileen because she has the knowledge of what's in the area more than I do. But the hotel itself is quite beautiful, very rustic. And I'm going to turn it over to Lorraine to kind of get you involved with what happens once you're on scene.
All right, thank you for that, Andy. Give me just a minute. I lost my connection, so I was gone for just a few minutes there. All right. Real quick, I'm going to have somebody share a link in the chat where you can register for your hotel room. And if you have any problems registering, please email ISPI or email conference@ispi.org. That way we can help troubleshoot and take care of your hotel reservation for you. So I am going to share more about the conference. Here we go. Let me share my screen. Okay, so hopefully you had the opportunity to take a look at the conference website. You can find it by going to ispi.org, going to the events page, and clicking on the 2023 conference. And we have some speaker spotlights down here. If you go to the agenda, you can see our conference keynote for this year is Dr. Patrick Malone. We believe we'll have more keynotes lined up, and we will add those as they become available. And then down below, you can see that we have 3 tracks for this year's conference. We have academic sessions, industry sessions, and then government and nonprofit sessions. And you can see several of the sessions listed down below, the speakers and the title of the sessions. Okay, so now I'm going to give you all the link of how to register for conference. You'll go here to the ISPI conference website and go down to register, and then you can click on the link to register for conference. And again, here you can find the hotel reservations. There is the general rate of $159 and then the government rate of $130. So if you if you're part of a government association or military, you can get that per diem rate of $130. So let me show you a little bit about WebEx events. This is our conference app, and it's available to everybody who registers for conference. And you will have received, if you've already registered for conference, you will have received an email today with the instructions on how to download this application. It's available on PC, Mac, and all of your smartphones. And you're able to, I explain this application as kind of like a mix between LinkedIn meets Facebook for a conference app. So once you download the app, you'll want to go in and set up your your profile, and that way you're able to see all of the attendees. Jen, are you able to pull up yours? That way you can share the screen.
Yep, absolutely. Give me just 1 second here. Okay, let me get to a good. All right, so I'm going to have you stop sharing and I will share mine. Let's see, share. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. So let me run through this real quick. So so our first one here is our attendees. So this is where you can see everybody who is registered for the conference. So far we have oh, I'm not sure why we should have a few more. We should have a whole bunch more than that. I'll have to check into that. We have all sorts of, we should have a whole bunch there. So this is where you're going to see everybody who is registered for the conference. You can actually go into their name and you can add them to your list and then actually connect with them. So it's a really cool feature to interact with people, especially if it's people that you know or familiar with. You can also come down here to the speakers. And this is where not only can you see which sessions they are doing, but you can also interact with them as well. You can actually send them a chat message and ask them questions and that sort of thing. Just in general, if you're on the speaker, button. And then you can also, obviously, what's important is you can also see the agenda. So this, let's see, let's go back to April here. And so here you're going to start seeing, you will see all the agenda items for the conference. And we are still, I have most of the information uploaded into the app right now. A majority of it, I still have a few things to go, but a lot of the sessions should have descriptions in them so you can get an idea of what they'll be talking about. Of course, the two that I just showed you don't have descriptions yet. I'm still loading those up. So this is, and then you can also, if there's a session that you really like that you want to attend, you can also add this kind of to your calendar, and you can just click this add button up here in the top right hand corner, and this is going to add it to your conference calendar so that you know what you kind of signed up for that day. So that's a really cool feature that you can do. We also have maps of the location. And let's see, so we have several map locations here. And this is going to tell you where all these sessions are going to be held. So if we go back to the agenda and we go back to the sessions, and it's going to have a location for you where that session is going to be held. So this particular session is in the Oak Room 2. So we can go up here to the map, and here's Oak Room 2, so you can kind of see where you're going during these sessions. We also have our sponsor wall. So we have several sponsors for the conference that have helped us out. So that's awesome. And then we haven't started this yet, but this year we're going to implement a game, gamification. We are still working out the details for this. So this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have leaderboards, and you're going to be able to track everybody's progress. So that's going to be a fun interactive little tool that we're going to use this year. And then Bill was talking earlier, or Andy, excuse me, was talking earlier about the golf outing. So there's going to be information there on that. And then Lorraine was also talking, making the comparison between LinkedIn and Facebook. So in that regard, we have a wall here, and this wall is going to enable you to just to chat. You can share pictures. You can make comments, you can interact with people. So as this wall gets filled out, then we can see what's actually going on. Actually, I'm gonna I can show you the one from last year. So let me get to last year's. And we can show you we can show you what that wall looks like filled out, because it was kind of cool to be able to see everybody's experience with the conference. So here's our wall from last year. And so here's some of the pictures that were shared, some of the comments, some of the presentations. Here's one of our speakers. So this is a great way to interact with everybody, a great way to share your conference experience with others. So just another opportunity to interact and engage with everything that's going on with the conference this year.
Jen, while you're on this, on last year's WebEx events, can you show how attendees can network with each other and also see the speakers?
Yeah. So so now keep in mind this is last year. So here's all the attendees last year, and then of course you're going to be at the top. And then so if I choose, I can connect with different people. And this is what's good. This should be, this is the app has slightly been updated, so it might be slightly different. It may be slightly different. So just keep that in mind, but you can add anyone. So here, if I choose to add Roger Addison, I can add him to my kind of group of people, and then I can interact. I can actually interact with them. Well, regardless of whether you added them to your group of people or not, you can interact with them always. And then our list of speakers, and then you can here you can see which session they were at, which session they were doing. You can take a look at their LinkedIn page. Here's some general bio information about them, and then, like I said, you can interact with anybody, all the participants. Did I answer your question, Lorraine?
You did, yeah. Thank you for taking over for that.
Yeah, sure.
Showing us WebEx events. That was really helpful.
So I'm going to stop sharing. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat as we go along. If you guys think of any questions after the fact, you can, like Lorraine said, you can email conference@ispi.org, and we will address any questions you guys may have.
Yep.
This is George. We do have questions from Tom. He's asking, will handouts be available for sessions we can't attend?
Yes.
Because there are multiple, parallel concurrent sessions, and also will slides be available in advance to facilitate note taking?
So as long as the speakers give us their slides, we will be able to share those there in the app. Where Jen showed you to go into the session, when you scroll down at the bottom, it will show you any downloadable assets that are available, the slides or any job aids or notes. So those will be loaded into WebEx events. Good question. What other questions do we have?
Nope, we're good so far.
All right. Well, we've kind of zoomed through our agenda for today. We just wanted to give you a brief overview of the conference and what you can expect. Does anybody have anything else to share?
Lauren, you've done a pretty decent PowerPoint presentation where we give a little bit more in-depth information. Do you want to go through that for them and see if maybe that answers some unanswered questions?
I do have a few other things that I can share here. for instance, I wanted to share this at the beginning, so thank you for bringing that up. This is our conference team. You probably know several of these faces, and some of them may also be new to you. But these are all the people who are working in the background to make sure that your conference is a success and that everybody has a really great experience, whether you are at conference in person or you are attending virtually. All of these people are making sure that there's lots of engagement and that you have a great experience at conference. And I can take a minute and talk about our virtual attendees. It's our goal that our virtual attendees and our in-person attendees have as close to experience as possible. So with our virtual attendees, of course, you've got the wall there on the app where you can network with each other. You can get to know all the other attendees and chat with them directly or add them to your networking list. There's going to be the gamification, the game that Jen showed, and that's going to be available for in-person and virtual attendees. And then you also have access to the WebEx Events app for 1 year. So all of the sessions are going to be recorded. And then you can go in after the conference, go into any of the sessions and view the recorded session and download the PowerPoint slides if the speaker shared those. So also with our virtual attendees, we'll have moderators in every room. That way, if you have a question for the speaker, that moderator is going to be your voice to transfer the question to the speaker. That way they can address your questions in real time. So.
Yeah, and to give a little bit more insight on the actual on campus, if you will, on conference center overview, you know, the event itself is broken out, and we have the entire conference center to ourselves, and it is a 2-floor building detached from the hotel, as I mentioned earlier. As you can tell by the graphic here, this is the floor plan of the main floor. And as you walk across the street, there's a main entrance lobby. It's very quaint. It has a giant fireplace, and you can see the foyer area. And once you walk in, you're kind of at the main level, which is actually the top floor. And the dogwood room is going to be kind of where we do the main keynote speakers. This way, we're not disrupted by breaking down and putting back our conference center. And so what we'll do is we'll all collaborate in the beginning of the agenda. And what we wanted to do this year was kind of provide keynote speakers for each of the target audiences. So as Lorraine mentioned earlier, we broke it down to academic, industry, and government. And so what we're trying to do is each day provide a keynote speaker that has a targeted audience of that perspective and kind of allow each of you to kind of see the blend between the three. And so our first keynote speaker is Dr. Patrick Malone. And so this will take place in that dogwood room. And he's the director of our key executive leadership programs at American University. He's a retired captain from the U.S. Navy, where he served as a professor of biometrics and prevention medicine at the Uniformed Services University of Health Sciences. He also was an academic director and the dean of academic for the Navy Medicine. He's published tons of articles and publications, such as The Ways Learners Think or Leaders Think, The Trusted Leader, Selfies in the Workplace, along with several other leadership publishings. In October of 2021, he also published his first book titled Emotional Intelligence for Talent Management. Within the government sector, rather than one keynote speaker, we're actually conducting a panel, and we're still waiting to hear back from our senior executive levels. But currently what we have is Mr. Jason Parman. He is currently the Deputy Associate Director of the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, Human Resource Strategies, and Evaluation Solutions. In his current role, he leads OPM's Strategic Human Capital Consulting and Individual Organizational Assessment Services. which helps federal agencies and their employees provide their strategy, operations, and culture and performance. We're also honored to have Rear Admiral Raymond, who is the current commander for the Coast Guard Force Readiness Command as of June of 2021. His responsibilities for 41 subordinate units in the 17 states that impact the Coast Guard's mission. We also have a couple of others that are still pending confirmation with Customs and Border Protection, U.S. Navy, and some other DoD and government agencies. So what we're trying to do is provide you kind of a smattering of perspectives, whether civilian or military, and government executive levels. And they'll be answering a lot of questions specifically towards the ISPI 10 standards. We also have a couple feelers out for an industry leader for your keynote. So as we go back to the conference blueprint, you'll see, we're trying to provide you, a wide breadth of knowledge in our subject matter expertise. And as noted here on the board, you'll see we have all of our different breakout sessions are by those different sessions of industry, academic, government, nonprofit. And so rather than being confused as to where to go, it'll be a healthy balance between using the Socio app, which will have, the WebEx app, which will have all the blueprints in it and what room, what session. So once you've registered, you can go ahead and start picking your favorite sessions. And then from there, when we go back to the map, you'll be able to see which room they're in. And they're all pretty much for the most part on that main floor. And they'll be broken down by those three academic, industry, and government sections. Now, because we have such a huge population of industry presenters, we actually have to provide other spaces so we can give you more opportunity to attend these sessions. And so we also have a downstairs, which has a elevator for those who have mobility concerns. And so you'll see it right there, right at the main entrance. And this will take you downstairs into a quiet area where we have 4 different rooms, and we will be providing some great experiences. Lisa Tonagus is offering to do some demonstrations on some virtual reality. We have a lot of different events that we're still in the planning phases of, but we're trying to provide you the best experience possible. And we know that there is a lot of sessions being offered, and there's only one of you, so don't fret, because once you've registered, all these sessions will be recorded within the WebEx system. So you'll be able to go back and watch them for the next year, along with obtaining the notes and whatever products they're providing to support their presentations. It's a mouthful. Let me take a breath real quick. Did I miss anything on that? Lorraine, is there anything else you'd like me to cover, or?
Thanks for that, Andy. I appreciate it. While we're down here, I'll show you the Cascades room is where we're going to have our meals. Many of your lunches are going to be catered this year, and it's a really beautiful atmosphere, lots of windows, and it opens up to their terrace. So you can have your lunch either inside or outside if it's a beautiful day. And one thing that I wanted to highlight is also on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be full of speakers who are first-time speakers at ISPI. So it's really going to be highlighting the new voices of the society, and then hopefully have a networking event later that evening. That way you can get to know the new faces that we have in ISPI and network with them. Are there any questions coming in through the chat, George?
Not so far. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think some of the questions have been answered about the recording.
Great. Well, I can go through the website again. Here is the event website, and you can get more information about the conference here. Go to see the agenda and our keynotes, and see the sessions that come under the different tracks, the academic track, industry track, and the government track. We also have speaker spotlights that Bill Yeager put together. And they show a lot more information about the different speakers who are going to be at conference. You'll see many faces that you've seen before if you've been to conference in the past, and also thought leaders in our industry, and some new faces as well. So you can learn more about some of the speakers you can expect to see in April on the website.
Yeah, Lorraine, before we move on, back at the agenda, we don't have a fully detailed, fleshed out agenda other than the speakers, but there will be some other events that we're going to be hosting while we're there, to include an awards ceremony. Sunday evening, we're going to have a happy hour. And by the end of the week, what we were trying to do is schedule an opportunity for those who've traveled out from outside locations to kind of experience Williamsburg in itself, because it does have such a rich history that we don't want you to come in and consume all your time with just conference stuff. So but was it Thursday, Lorraine? Yeah. Thursday, what we've done is we've scheduled some opportunities for you to get a tour of Colonial Williamsburg. As I mentioned, there's a golf tournament that's the property itself has 2 high-end golf courses. And what we've done is we've reserved 36 spots on the green course of, what is the name of this beautiful course? It's the Golden Horseshoe Golf Club. And so we've decided that entry into the tournament will be $125 per player. There will be a prize for the winner of the tournament. And this is kind of our inaugural kickoff to see if this is something we want to do for future events in upcoming conferences. Golf, we're well aware that flying your golf clubs isn't cheap, but we will be upping the prices. That price is not reflected from the current data. But what we'll do is on Thursday afternoon, when all the sessions are over, is kind of host a golf tournament with prizes. And so we will push out an email to everybody when that's available. And actually, what I can do for those of interest, let me send a link to the actual golf course. Bill and I had the opportunity to play while we were there, just to kind of get a scene, and it is quite beautiful, very difficult, lots of island shots, lots of holes where, surrounded by water. The course itself is an 18-holer, 36 par on the front, 72 total, so 36 on both ends. Plenty of par 4s, couple par 5s, and a few par 3s in there. Like I said, it'll be a great event. It'll be our first, so we'll see how this works out for us, if it's something to repeat or not. And in Colonial, as I said, Colonial Williamsburg is legitimately across the street. So as you walk outside the hotel, you'll be able to explore some of the stuff. Unfortunately for those at the conference, most of it will be closed by the time we're done with our conference session. Doesn't prohibit you from walking around the grounds and seeing the old way of life, but all the reenactment aspects and the shopping and whatnot will be closed down. But that's why we're putting that in there for you on Thursday.
Thank you, Andy. Also, I want to be sure and share that we have lots of sponsorship opportunities for anybody who might be watching, and if you'd like to support ISPI and support some of these special events that are taking place, we have many sponsorship opportunities at different levels, and each one comes with lots of marketing opportunities for your organization. So if you're interested in learning more about our sponsorship opportunities, you can go to our website, and then you can also email us at conference@ispi.org. George, any questions coming through? Any comments?
Nope, nothing any so far. We're good.
Lorraine, I want to talk real quick about volunteering with ISPI. For years, I have had the opportunity to be a member of ISPI and have always volunteered. And I want to recommend it to anyone. One of the greatest volunteer opportunities is not just helping to put together a conference, but it's also being able to review the applications, the speaker applications that come in. I've learned so much and gotten very excited. And I can tell you that this year's speakers are by far the best as I have ever seen in the history of ISPI, bar none. It's going to be an incredible conference. And I just wanted to give a plug for volunteering. That's how we get things done in this organization. It is a total volunteer organization, and I highly encourage you to get involved.
Thank you, Eileen. So let's see, I don't know if we're going to have any questions. Is there anything else you want to hit on there, Lorraine?
I don't think so. I really appreciate Eileen mentioning that. You know, I got started in ISPI as a volunteer, and you know, it's just about putting yourself out there and finding a group of people to work with, and it opens up so many doors for you and so many opportunities. And being that it is a volunteer organization, everybody shares the same passion for making sure that ISPI is a great professional organization in your professional home. So I just want to reiterate what Eileen said and encourage anybody who's interested in volunteering with ISPI, either for conference or throughout the year. There's many opportunities. Just email conference@ispi.org and we can give you more information about volunteering.
And I'm going to second that motion, because without the volunteer staff, this would not be possible by any means. And so we're really excited to have this conference, and kind of reiterate on some of the entry points that both Eileen and Lorraine pointed out. Was that, you know, you have 3 airports you have the opportunity to come to the conference at, either Richmond, Newport News, or Norfolk. We know it's not the easiest, but we feel that it's going to provide you the best experience for a conference. Bring your family. Eileen mentioned you have Great Wolf Lodge, there's Busch Gardens, you have Outer Banks in the area, you have Virginia Beach right down the road. So why not make a family event out of the trip, learn something new, experience it, meet some new people. The hotel itself is the Woodlands Hotel and Suites. You can find it on our website. If you have issues where you're trying to register for a room and they're telling you it's full, pick up the phone and call them. We are filling up quick, but they are making it available for everybody else so that you're not homeless, so to speak. Conference is right across the street in walking distance, and we'll make accommodations for anybody who has some mobility concerns. The premise has a small kiddie pool. There's a bunch of mini golf and events nearby. We have some great keynotes and more coming. Golf tournament, we'll publish that when we here in the next newsletter. You can please see all the upcoming events. Don't worry, you won't miss any of it because it'll all be recorded there on your WebEx app for later. I'm thinking from a recap, that should cover it. I'm hopefully that we've covered all the items from getting there to experience it to making you want to stay a little longer. So, George.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Lorraine and Eileen. Thank you, the conference team, and also there are many other volunteers actually working on the conference team as well. They have been doing a fabulous job. The planning work of this year's conference started a long time ago, right after last year's conference. Last year's conference, as you know, we had last year's annual ISPI conference in Nashville, Tennessee, and was a very successful one, and it was the first one after the peak of the pandemic. So it was the first one offline, on-site. And this year will be the second one after the pandemic and the post-pandemic era that we come to see each other. So we're participating a bigger crowd. ISPI is one of the most authoritative voices and organizations in the field of performance improvement. on planet Earth, actually. And we established in 1962, back in San Antonio, was established at a conference at the hotel called the Flamingo Hotel in San Antonio, Texas, back in 1962. And I learned that from Dr. Roger Edison. And you're got to see him again because he's planning to attend, and also other historians, other authoritative voices, masters in this field. They're seasoned professionals. They wrote our textbooks, the performance improvements textbooks. They wrote. So we read them, and this time we get to see them, meet them, and hearing what their topics are and hearing their presentations, and we can ask them questions, interact with them. There are multiple occasions, as the team mentioned. There will be different activities because the diverse environment there and the historical colonial historic environment there provides a lot of tourist attractions as well. But as a conference, we provide many opportunities to interact, for all the participants to interact with each other, with the presenters and participants themselves. And also, we're going to have multiple presenters from outside the North America region. We have presenters from Europe, from Africa, and also from Asia. And I know, at least I know there are two, at least from China. They're attending also at delegations from other countries like China, from those continents as well. So it is going to be a star-studded conference again, as usual. So please come and join us, because there are going to be a lot of you're going to see a lot of newest efforts of performance improvements. So, latest thought and latest practices and latest methodologies. So we got here what they say. Of course, if you can't come, you can also join virtually as well. So it's going to be another hybrid conference. And we're going to have special ISPI Live during the conference, special sessions for ISPI Live. So with that, thank you again, the conference team. Thank you for the fabulous job, conference team as a whole. And today we only have three of them presenting here. Thank you, Lorraine, Andy, and Eileen again. That brings us to the end of the 25th episode of ISPI.live. Oh, did I say .live? Yes, ISPI Live is a website itself. Our very own web team built a fabulous website for ISPI Live. It's called ISPI.live. Simple as that. If you have any questions, suggestions, or even want to speak or self-nominate to speak at an ISPI Live program, please visit ISPI.live and let us know what you think. How can we improve and better serve you, especially ISPI members? So if you have not joined ISPI yet, we welcome you to visit our website at ispi.org. All conference information, ISPI.live, everything is there, is our home website. Next week, it's going to be exciting again. On March 4th, we will have our very own Dr. William Berquist to talk about performing in a VUCA plus world. VUCA, V-U-C-A, VUCA plus world. It's going to be a very interesting topic. Dr. William Berquist is a very seasoned professional. He has authored more than 50 books. He's very known in the field of workplace psychology. So let's hear what he got to say next Saturday. ISPI Live is a weekly program every Saturday at noon USA Eastern Time, which is 9 a.m. Pacific. We thank Lorraine, Andy, and Eileen again for today's sharing, and Jennifer Romer for participating and also as the operator on the background all the time. Thank you all. Again, this is George Gu hosting for you live from Shanghai, China. Is close to 2 a.m. here. If you have any more questions, please interact with us. Go to the website and ask us, and we'll get connected with you. Thank you all for your support. See you next Saturday. Have a great swelling weekend. Signing off.